Okay, guys, so welcome to chapter 608 of Lookism. And let me tell you guys, this is one of the most craziest chapter in a long time. I did not expect to see what I've seen in this chapter. So let me just get started with it. So the chapter starts with Daniel talking in the UI mode for the first time ever. Like we have never seen him talk in the UI mode. We see his UI eyes, and then we are shown a picture of the lake where the body supposedly fell, the body of young Daniel, and we see Daniel going into the water and he's just going deeper and deeper trying to find him. And then suddenly we see Vasco just comes out of nowhere and grabs Daniel from behind. Vasco is just trying to calm Big Daniel and just telling him that, oh no, you know what, I've already searched everywhere. I've already looked into this place. Zach told me about what happened to little Daniel and I've already looked. But that is beside the point. The thing is that you're acting really weird right now. Then we see a panel of Daniel holding Vasco's hand and just telling him straight up to just let go of him. Big Daniel is like, My body is there. I'm going to find it. I don't care what you do." Then Vasco just starts thinking to himself that I've never seen Daniel being so worried in ever. Then we see another panel of Daniel saying to let him go. And in this panel, we see that one of his eyes is UI and one is not. One is normal. And then Vasco is just trying to stop him somehow, and then he just throws him away, saying that water is dangerous. You should not go in there. We learned that in school. By the way, by the way, if you guys remember, this is a high school manhwa, and they have. I don't even remember when they were in school the last time. Then we see Big Daniel just easily landing on his feet. He asks Vasco, "Why are you doing this? What do you want?" And then Vasco tells him that, I don't want to fight you, but if I have to stop you through fight, I will do it. I don't care. You're my friend. We see Big Daniel just pulling his hair and just falling to the ground, and just we see him in so much pain. He's talking to himself. He's saying that his head is going to explode. He cannot stay conscious. It's very difficult for him, and he's just thinking like, why am I treating Vasco this way? He's just so worried about me. But what is wrong with me? Why am I like trying to fight with him? And then, and then the thing that always happens in the true PTJ fashion. We see a panel, we see a backstory of again the little Daniel and Gun Park when he was teaching him, and Gun Park is talking about controlled ultra instinct. Gun Park is telling him that you are going to have to face it someday, someday, out of nowhere, out of the blue, you will start to experience it. You will feel like your whole head is going to explode, and that's the first stage of controlling ultra instinct. Gun is telling him to if you fail to overcome this stage, you will eventually fall unconscious, and then you will have to learn it eventually. Whatever you want, whatever you want, it all depends on you. And he tells him that what's the problem with the big Daniel is that he has an excellent body, but he hesitates because he is too kind. But by learning Ultra Instinct, he can make up for that because Ultra Instinct is the opposite of kind, so it will kind of balance them out and let him fight in the most precise way that he has ever been able to. He will be able to completely fight the opponents with the utmost focus that he has ever experienced. Gunpark tells him that it is much harder than you can imagine because you have to control your mind. You have to fight your unconscious, and make it your consciousness, which is really, really difficult. But in the end, he says that he believes that both of them can do it. Then we move back to the present, where Vasco is fighting Big Daniel, and we see Vasco taking the fighting stance, and he's like, I'm going to stop you anyway. Even if I hurt you, I don't care. But Big Daniel just punches him in the gut, saying, Stop your nice guy act. You're always doing these acts of justice, but do you think you're some kind of hero? We see Daniel's body fighting, but in his mind, he just talking to himself, saying that, Sorry, Vasco, I'm not able to control my body. I don't know what is happening, but I just cannot stop myself. But Vasco, being the true friend that he is, he's just talking to himself that he can understand Daniel, but he needs to stop him somehow, no matter what. And he goes to punch him again. But we see Daniel headbutting Vasco in the face, and his face is just out of proportion. He is talking to himself that Daniel used a headbutt. Really? Daniel never fights this way. Then we see Daniel blocking the vision of Vasco with one of his hands and using his left hand to punch him in the gut again. Vasco is shocked. He's like, Daniel blocked my vision. He's fighting dirty. That's not the way Daniel fights. And then Daniel goes again, rushes him, and his eyes are looking at his legs. Vasco prepares to block the attack on his legs, but then out of the blue, Daniel Daniel quickly changes his stance and attacks his neck. We see Vasco going almost unconscious. He's thinking about the first affiliate arc where Daniel was acting in a similar way. Yet somehow it is totally different. Daniel is also talking to himself, thinking that I have never been able to fight so freely. There's nothing stopping me. Was I always such a good fighter? He again kicks Vasco far away, but Vasco tries to get up and then rushes at him. But we see Daniel getting a grab of his bone and doing the Jin Mugen Serum style on him and just smashing Vasco on the ground. But Daniel does not even know what technique is it and how does he know about it. After this, Daniel is straight up smashing Vasco with one punch after another. He's thinking to himself that Vasco is going to die. I need to stop my body somehow. But after this, we see a crazy panel of Daniel. He's saying this is so much fun, and we see a crazy look on his face, where his right eye is the normal one, almost like getting red, and then his left eye is the ultra instinct eye, and he's just smiling like crazy. It's like the craziest character panel you ever saw, and then multiplied it by 100. It's probably the most creepiest panel that you will ever see in Lookism. Daniel is saying to Vasco that you're so fun to beat, and then we see Jay rushing at Daniel and pulling him away. Daniel is saying, Who are you now? He's calling him Yellowhead, but he does not remember him. He starts punching Jay in the face and then tells him that you need to let go of me. Don't stop me. But then even after all this beating, Jay is not letting go of Daniel. He is just hugging him and not letting him push him away. Daniel is going crazy. He's saying, Jay, I will turn you into a cripple. I will beat the shit out of you. And then we see Daniel thinking to himself that I need to get out of my consciousness somehow. And then in the next panel, we see a splurt of blood. And then we see Vasco looking at the fight between Jay and Big Daniel, and then the panel moves to Jay, and he's also looking like what happened. And then we see Daniel, blood is gushing out of his mouth. He bit his own lip, and then he's telling these guys that, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to me, but thank you for sticking with me. After this, Daniel falls unconscious. His bleeding is not stopping, but these guys are just trying to wake up Daniel because they are so worried about him. And then we see the panel change to the church. We see some guys getting out of the car. And guess what? Guess who is it? Who it is? It's Chang Su and Gite Kim. Chang Su tells Gite Kim that, saying that, you know what, just give me the money. I want to go to my go to the sauna with my kid. And he's asking Gite Kim to join them, but Gite Kim does not give a shit about what he wants. He's just saying Gita Kim is just looking inside the church and he's like, okay, interesting. He did not expect that because we finally see the conclusion of the fight between James Lee and Tom Lee. We see James Lee is buried in the ground, surrounded by rubble. But Gita Kim says that James Lee has finally won. This was unexpected. Then we see the body of Tom Lee just lying, and blood is everywhere. He is unconscious. Blood is oozing out of his face. His body is covered by the blood. But James Lee, being the goat that he is, he does not care about any of this. He's like, okay, I beat Tom Lee, but who gives a shit? He asks Keith Kim, did you bring Daniel Park? Then Keith Kim answers, no, Daniel Park is dead. I don't even know why you wanted him alive. I killed him. He fell off a cliff, and he probably is dead. He has to be dead. And the same happened to Eugene. All of them fell off the cliff, and all of them must be dead as well. And then Jiangsu, being the dog, says that Daniel Park was supposed to be killed. What would you have gotten if you had not killed? He was just a thorn in our way. Now we can easily do whatever we want. Then we see a panel of Kite Kim just staring plainly towards James Lee, and he's like, he knew what he was going to say. James Lee says, Kite Kim, I told you to catch Daniel Park. Have you forgotten our language because you have been living outside for so long? Are you still a teenager who is young and rebellious? Or do you think I'm a pushover? Then we see the final panel of James Lee getting all angry. But James Lee, being the goat that he does not care if he just beat Tom Lee or whoever. He is in rage mode. He looks like he's going to beat the shit out of Keith Kim. What do you guys think? What is going to happen in the next chapter? Comment down below what you guys think, and I will see you next week with chapter 609. Until then, have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.